What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Transcription. In this week's lesson, we're going to take a look at some of the concepts and techniques that make up Adam Jones's style. So I wanted to revisit the very first lesson I ever posted on this channel, and that was how to play in the style of Adam Jones. I figured it's been 5 or 6 years and that video is old and it looks terrible, and you guys deserve a little bit better than that. So let's revisit this concept, okay? How to play in the style of Adam Jones. Okay, before we get started, the lesson transcription for these examples can be found in the description below, both PDF and Guitar Pro. So the first thing we have to do is put ourselves in a drop D tuning. Okay, about 98% of all Tool songs are in drop D. If you happen to stumble across one that's not Tool, not in drop D after looking at this lesson, just move on to another one. Alright, so we're going to start with some of the chords and some of the harmony that Jones uses, and it's very simple. He uses the Pentatonic Scale as the foundation for everything, so that's what we are going to do. So we're going to play the Pentatonic Scale, but we're not going to play any boxes because Jones doesn't play in the boxes. Alright? But that still means that the Pentatonic Scale is still the foundation and the harmony for everything he does, but they toy with it a little bit. Okay, so let's look at some power chords. Open, 3, 5, 7, 10, 12. Those notes make up the D minor pentatonic scale because everything is centered around D. Okay? So all I did was play power chords up and down the pentatonic scale. Now, if you're a beginner and you're learning rhythms, eighth notes, triplets, 16th notes, little things like that, just getting comfortable moving these chords around, I would just pause this video, go up and down the scale, and get comfortable with moving these chords and learning how they sound and move between each other. Okay? Just get used to playing where they resolve and where they push and pull. One thing we can do to these power chords is, you probably noticed with this first chord that we did, I played a big, full chord. Well, one thing that Jones does is he expands these chords, okay? And all you have to do is take this chord and expand it out. So you have your power chord is, say, 3, 3, 3. Very simple, one finger. We're going to add ring finger pinky on 6 and 5. And if you want, you can play the high string. Put that note on the 3rd fret with the bar. But that note doesn't necessarily have to be there. You can... Okay? So let's look at a riff that does this. Because there'll be plenty of times where Jones will play it and then he'll expand it with these power chords. A really good example is the opening riff to Lateralis. And in the chorus specifically is when he expands these chords into the big power chords. Alright, so you have this riff which is just basically 0, 3, and 5, 10 and 12, right from the pentatonic scale, and then we turn them into big power chords, like so. Okay? He does this a lot. I recently did a lesson on undertow. Go check it out. He does it in the chorus. He plays the same exact idea. He goes through certain chords, 2, 14, 10, 7, and then he turns them into big open power chords. And that just adds some extra dynamic to the riff itself. Gives it a little more energy, makes it sound bigger, more powerful, and you can use that to kind of craft your song and your idea. Okay? So, as I mentioned before, everything is centered around this D note, this drop D. So they're all in D minor, and he's going to play with these harmonies. Alright, so a lot of time you'll have a minor sound, and then you'll have this Phrygian sound, and it stands out like a sore thumb. Okay, so let's quickly go through those two scales using what we did already. Okay, we already played the pentatonic scale. So to play a minor scale, all we have to do is add 2 notes to that. A whole step from the root, which is 2 frets, so the 2nd fret, and then we can add over here, what note is it? This note, 8th fret, okay? Okay, so there's the pentatonic scale. The extra notes. Okay, so those notes give it a minor sound. And here's a tip. anytime you play this scale fragment of 0, 2, 3, that spacing, I'll do it on the high string so you can see it more. So say if I have 5, 7, 8, that's gonna imply a minor sound. So this is D minor. Okay, let's take the same exact thing, but we're gonna play 2. We're gonna play 1 instead of 2, and that gives us this little half step, and that is the Phrygian mode. Okay, and that has a lot more tension in it because of that half step focus right next to the root, and they use this all the time. All right, so let's look at some riffs that do this. Okay, a good one is 46 and 2. I mean, it doesn't get any more recognizable than that. Okay, so the opening riff, you have this octave on 5. Right? So if this is my root, there's that half step in front of it, a whole step behind it. Phrygian. Hear this a ton, right? And then in the chorus, he takes the single note riff and he turns it into power chords. So you have this. Okay, you guys get the idea. What else does he use this in? Anima. Right, one of the solos, he has this little melody, which the vocal does it, the guitar does it, all throughout the song, but you have this. Right, that little melody, well look what he's doing. Okay, so that's there a lot, and that harmony, that half step harmony, you can hear it. I recently did a lesson for Sober. Okay, and that song is essentially D and E flat, D sharp, half step up. Play it here. That is a very Phrygian type of sound. Okay, another good riff that does that is Schism, and this is going to lead me into another thing. Jones likes to use these triplet rolls a ton, right? And they sound like this. And I would venture to say, I could be wrong, but I would venture to say that a lot of Jones's influence on the odd times that you find in Tool and these triplet rolls is very much inspired by his rhythm section, right? Danny Carey, the drummer, and Justin Chancellor, the bass player. I mean, they're the rhythm set, and Jones, I would imagine, is playing a lot off of what they do, which influences the rhythm of what he's doing. And this feels, this triplet, it feels like a drum fill to me, right? So the outro riff to Schism, right? The same riffs, as the same notes as 46 and 2. Right? 5, 6, and 3. Right? There's that riff. Really cool riff to play. It's a shame that it's only about 10 seconds in the song, right? But you're introducing the triplet roll as well as reinforcing that Phrygian harmony that we've kind of explored over the last 3 examples. Another one that does those triplets is the chorus to Vicarious, and I want to tie this in for a couple of reasons. I mentioned Schism and it has a little bit of the odd time. We're not going to get too into that, but odd time is a part of Tool in general and you can't escape it. Okay, so if we look at the chorus to Vicarious, you have right? That riff. Not only are you shifting times, like the first half of that, you have like a 6/8 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? You have that. And then you switch to a nice quarter note pulse. Again, the odd times are a part of Tool. You can't get away from it. But the triplet is there. Also, the pentatonic scale is here. We're just going 3, 5, 10, 3, 5, oh. Right? So there is the pentatonic scale and the triplets and odd times all kind of coming in together into the same riff. Another little technique that Jones tends to use are these hammer-ons. And they're like pentatonic hammer-ons. They remind me of progressive music from the 70s and the 80s. And he does it a lot, and it's kind of just this. Right? He does these kind of ideas a lot in his riffs. Okay, so let's look at H, right? The breakdown of the song H. And he does it very simply. He's on the A and the D string in 10th position. And then he starts walking up and down. He has the low string to it. Okay? Again, it's not really complicated, but it's part of his writing style, and you see it in a lot of riffs. Okay? The same position, Rosetta Stone. It's a little faster. You have that. Right? It's all in there. You have when he takes it down an octave in that song. Right? That hammer on that 03, 03, 03. Again, I did the undertow lesson in the outro. Right? It's there. It's to bring back Vicarious, the outro of Vicarious. That's both. That's the triplet roll and mimicking this kind of hammer-on idea that he uses a lot again and again and again and again in his playing. Okay? What else can we talk about that makes up the style of Adam Jones? Right? We briefly talked about the odd time because it's mixed in his riffs. So you have the Schism, which is 7 and 5. We talked about the Vicarious. The Lateralis riff that we mentioned in the beginning, that changes times 9, 8, 7 across 3 measures. So the time is there, and I'm not going to get too into it. When you look at the individual lessons that we've done in this channel, we get more into those heavy times. Alright? So that's about it, guys. I mean, that is how to play like Adam Jones. You mix in the hammer-ons, you mix in the drop D tuning, you mix in the extended power chords, the odd times, the Phrygian type harmony. Okay? There's a couple of little things that I probably didn't mention that I want to. Dead notes is an important one. He uses them a ton. Let's look at Triad. Love that song. In fact, that's going to be the next full song lesson coming up. Right, you have this riff. Right? So you have those dead notes there. Right? And something more simple, the riff to Stinkfist, the verse riff. Alright, so if you don't know what a dead note is, lightly lay your hands across the strings and play a nice percussive sound. It's a muted note or a dead note. That's what it is, right? Break up that old negative. Train of consequences, make it sound like a train. Whatever, it's fun. Alright? And then the only thing that's starting to creep into his style, you have the Jambi riff. You do this, and that's a tough one to play because there's a lot of left hand feel, and that's basically what you're doing is you're pulling off, say I'm playing 3 open on the low string, and then in that motion of the pull off, that downward motion, I'm pulling off on the open end. So I get this. Right, in the Jambi riff, and he doesn't have too many. I would venture to say I'll put a dollar bet that you hear one of those riffs on the next album. It'd be kind of fun. Yeah, so there you go, guys. How to play in the style of Adam Jones. And like I said, the transcriptions can be found down in the description below, both PDF and Guitar Pro. Please like and subscribe for more tool content, as well as a lot of original music theory lessons going on. And as always, let me know what you come up with. So until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.